All right, for this next problem, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do it algebraically, which means not on the graph. So I'm going to try to get the square root by itself. So I need to get rid of the -4 and the 3 before I can do anything with the square root. Remember, undo addition and subtraction first, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I have 3 times the square root of x plus 7 equals 2 plus 4 is 6. Divide by 3, don't subtract 3. This 3 is attached with multiplication to the square root. So I'm going to divide by 3. At this point, you can actually check with radicals, you can check for extraneous solutions right here. If you have an even root equal to a negative, that is not allowed. It's going to be an extraneous solution. You're just going to get no solution. But in this case, the even root equals a positive number, so this is going to be okay. So we want to get rid of the square root. The opposite of square root is squared. I square both sides and get x plus 7 equals 4. Subtract 7 from both sides and get x equals -3. So hopefully that is the solution. But again, I'm going to graph it and check, and it should match the graph. So the original problem was 3 times the square root of x plus 7 minus 4. I'm going to put the original problem in, but instead of the equal sign, I need to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Instead of the adding 4 that I did for algebraically, for graphically, I want to put the left side, or really the more complicated side of the equation. So 3 times the square root of x plus 7 minus 4, and then just put a -2 at the end of there. Now, if you wanted to do -4 minus 2 is -6, you can, but Desmos will do it for you. You don't even have to really think to do this, just the left side minus the right side. When I graph that, sorry about my shaky camera here, because I do not know how to do videos anymore with the screen. What I've graphed is the 3 times the square root of x plus 7 minus 4 minus 2, and that's what it looks like. It crosses, it doesn't have that point labeled, that was from a previous version of this video I tried to do, but if you click on the red line, dots pop up. You don't want the x-intercept or the y-intercept, you want the x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis at -3, 0. That matches the -3 we got for our answer. So I'm going to sketch that. And it's a square root function, so it kind of has a starting point and goes up like so. Just the important part is that it crosses the x-axis at -3, 0. And that should match the answer we got algebraically. If it does, we must be doing it right. If you're getting the same answer twice, odds are you're doing it correctly. Now I do want to look at one that's no solution and show you how the graph will fix this. Like, right, if you don't realize it's no solution and you go on and you do the problem, which most students do, the graph will catch you in this mistake. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. Square root of 6x minus 5 equals -7. Now I need to get rid of the square root, so I'm going to square both sides, but if you're really perceptive, you'll see this negative and realize this is no solution. But most of the time students forget that, and they go ahead and square both sides, and then they add the 5 and divide by 6 and get an answer. Well, if you do that when you do the graph, so what you put on the graph is the exact same thing. Like, this is no solution. This is a stop, no solution. But again, a lot of people don't realize that, and you should catch it on the graph. So this is like an empty brackets for no solution. But when you graph it, you graph the complicated side, the square root of 6x, minus 5 plus 10 minus 3, right? You do the left side, we're looking back at the original problem here, you do the left side minus the right side. So it's square root of 6x minus 5 plus 10 minus 3. When I graph that, this is what the graph looks like. Hold on, I gotta switch the graphs. Okay, in blue, where does this cross the x-axis? Well, here's the x-axis right here, and here's the graph. It's going up. It's never gonna come down and cross this x-axis. No matter how much you zoom out, you can try it, it kind of looks like it touches the x-axis because it's so far away, but it doesn't ever touch the x-axis because it has that stopping point. Sorry about my dizzying video skills, but it has that stopping point up above the x-axis. So that should tell you, if you got a solution and then you realize it doesn't cross the x-axis, some alarm bell should be going off and you should be like, oh, did I forget to say no solution? So this graph looks like this. And you might make a note, like, it does not cross the x-axis. It doesn't mean there's not going to be a graph, it's just not going to have a solution to it. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I think you guys can try number 4. So for homework, I'd like you to try this number 4. And also turn several pages, let me find it. It's like the third from the last page. This is a long packet. So if you were numbering this packet, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'd be page 6. And I'd like you to do problems 3 and 4 on page 6, the 2 radical equations. So you do the algebra right here. You put your solutions. No, it's kind of hard to see. So for 3, you do the algebra, you write your solutions, and then you draw the graph accurately as you can. It's nice and gridded for you. And it should be that wherever it crosses the x-axis matches your solution. I hope you find that helpful. Make sure you have that done before Monday. I think you should be able to do all of that during class today. And I'll see you Monday.